Hello everyone, my name's Chad Macheski, and I'm here to play some Red-Green Tron on Modern Leagues. So right now I'm going to go over a little bit of a deck tech, and we'll talk about how the deck's built and what certain cards do, and then we'll go into some Modern Leagues. So to begin with, we're going to be playing with some older versions of Red-Green Tron. The current list now uses like World Breaker and a couple more Ulamog the Ceaseless Hungers, but this is an older version that I have been playing with for the past 2 years or so, just kind of tweaking cards here and there. But let's start at the very beginning with the Tron package. So the Tron package is Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, and Urza's Tower. And what each of these cards does is that it taps for a single colorless mana, but if you have one of each, they then start to produce 2 and 3 mana. The Mine and Power Plant produce 2 mana apiece, and Tower produces 3 mana apiece. Well, if you can count, that's 7, and that gets you to the magic number of Karn Liberated. And he's probably the best 7 mana colorless spell that you can cast in Modern right now. And being able to cast him off of just 3 lands is pretty backbreaking for a lot of Modern decks. So the whole point of the deck is to try and get those 3 lands in play on turn 1, 2, and 3, and then power out Karns and Wormcoil Engines and just big creatures that cost just a lot of mana, but it's all generic mana. And to accomplish that, we've got a couple cards. So we've got 4 Ancient Stirrings. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal a colorless card from among them and put it into your hand, and then put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. That's very good for digging. It's digging 5 deep to look for a land, or Karn, or a Wormcoil Engine. Hits anything. It hits everything except for 12 cards in our deck. So that's a lot that you can grab off of that. Next is going to be the 4 Sylvan Scryings. Sylvan Scryings allow you to tutor for a land and put it into your hand. Very useful for being able to find the missing pieces of Tron that you don't have. And then in that same vein, there is Expedition Map, which again is just an artifact that allows you to search for a land card and put it in your hand. With these 3 cards, it's very consistent to get Tron on turn 3. I've run a Python code and done the number crunch. It's about 25% to hit Tron with a Karn on turn 3 when you're on the play, and about 35% to hit Tron with a Karn on turn 3 when you're on the draw. So it's about 1 in every 4 games that you play, you should just hit natural Tron, assuming you're mulliganing well and making good decisions. To that end, we need to generate green mana somehow, so we have a few forests in the deck, and we have 4 Grove of the Burn Willows. These are the best land for this deck because we don't really care what total our opponent is at, because their life is eventually going to go to 0, or they're just going to get milled out with an Ulamog. So it doesn't really matter. So this is the best dual land for us. It comes into play untapped, creates colorless, and red and green mana whenever we need it. And then also we have a full 8 set of Spheres and Stars. So Chromatic Sphere is a 1 mana artifact that you can pay a mana tap, sacrifice it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and then draw a card. And the same with Chromatic Star. Allows you to draw a card when it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, so you can filter your mana and draw a card. Very good. I'm also running 2 Relic of Progenitus's. These are to hedge against things like Dredge and the very, very prevalent Tarmogoyf decks that are around. So it allows you to exile the graveyard and getting rid of all cards in there. It's very good. It's also got some fringe cases where if an opponent tries to surgically extract one of your lands in your graveyard, you can exile your own land in response, because you get to choose which one goes away if you're targeting yourself. Very good. The other 2 lands that are in the deck are a Singleton Ghost Quarter, which allows you to take out opposing Tron decks or even man lands that are going to be pressuring you. Very good against Affinity because they tend to suit up their Inkmoth Nexuses, and then you can drop a Ghost Quarter and hit it out of the sky. Finally, there is a Singleton Sanctum of Ugin. I've played around with playing 2 of these, but I like having the double forest. This card allows you to tap for colorless mana, and then if you cast a colorless spell with converted mana cost 7 or greater, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our spells, you get a tutor for any colorless creature, which is very good because it means that you can cast Karn and go fetch up a Wormcoil Engine, or you can cast Karn, fetch up an Ulamog, or cast Ugin and fetch up a Worm Coil Engine or a Spellskite. It kind of allows you to be a little bit more toolboxy. It's what we have now instead of Ayavugan since Ayavugan was banned. It actually makes the deck a little bit faster because you don't have to take a whole turn off to go search. You just play the land, search for your creature, and then play your creature the next turn. So it's a little bit slower, or it speeds you up a little bit, but it doesn't have the same late game punch that Ayavugan did. Because Ayavugan, you could just be like, well, I'm going to eventually find an Emrakul the Aeon's Torn and win the game that way. And that was personally my favorite way to win before they banned Ayavugan. But it needed to go. RG Tron decks and just the Eldrazi decks in general during Eldrazi Winter were pretty oppressive. So to round out the deck, we've got some Pyroclasms, good for stopping early aggression. A little bit worse if their opponents are playing Zoo, but Zoo's not being played so much right now, so you don't have to worry about those 3-power creatures. Takes care of a lot of mana dorks, a lot of 2-power stuff. Just a good general clear-all for a cheap and reasonable effect. I've got a 1 of Spellskite in the deck, just good for redirecting random Path to Exiles that are aimed at your Worm Coil engines. It can also really mess with a Ad Nauseam player if they don't know how it interacts with their Lightning Storm. Then you've got 3 Oblivion Stones. It's arguable if it should be a 4 or 3. I like having 3 Oblivions in the main. It's just a good catch-all for any answers if your opponent's board's getting too aggressive. You can either wait till you have 8 mana, play it and crack it all in one, or you can play it on 3 and then crack it for 5. Then you've got a Sundering Titan. This is a pet card of mine for this deck. I just really like it. It messes with a lot of the 3-color decks that are kind of running rampant right now, because if you're able to resolve a Sundering Titan, your opponents really just can't do anything. They're going to lose 3 mana usually because there's a lot of 3-color decks running around, so you're usually going to hit a couple shock lands and maybe a couple basics. And so that happens when it comes into play. And then if your opponent decides to like terminate it or Path to Exile it, you can remove a couple more lands. So I've had this thing hit for the full 6. I've had it hit for the full 8. And at one point I got it to hit 5 lands in just entering the battlefield against a 5-color control deck. So it does a lot of good work. It's just something that a lot of people don't see coming. It's arguable as to whether or not it should be just a world breaker. It probably should, but I like it as I just like it as a Sundering Titan. Finally, you've got an Ugin the Spirit Dragon. This is sort of our 4th O-Stone, but it's kind of not because you have to pay the full 8 all at once. But it's a good catch-all. It does a good job of exiling the entire board. It's really bad in matchups against other Tron decks or other Eldrazi decks because it can't hit their Eldrazi because all of them have Devoid. So you have to be mindful of that, but it's still a good card. And if you ever get to ultimate it, you're probably going to end up winning the game because you're just going to be dropping so much mana and so many cards onto the board that your opponent's not really going to be able to respond. And finally is the big finisher, Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. This guy is a house. When you're able to go turn 3 Karn into turn 4 Ulamog, doesn't happen very often, requires a specific Tron on turn 3, and then a follow-up Urza's Tower on turn 4 to be able to cast Karn, then Ulamog. But being able to exile 2 permanents, having an indestructible 10/10, and then whenever he attacks, he mills and exiles the top 20 cards of your opponent's library. That is insane. A lot of control decks used to be able to try and play the long game against Tron, but with Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, you can't play the long game because this guy's going to end it in 2 or 3 swings. Also gives you a lot of reach against decks that try to go to infinite life, like the old Collected Companies used to, so it's just a very good way to finish the game without having to rely on killing your opponent, because they'll just die to not being able to draw cards. Finally, looking at the sideboard, I have a 1 of Leyline of Sanctity. This probably should be a 2 of, but I just couldn't find another copy, so I'm running a 1 of Leyline, and I'm also debating whether or not I want more Warping Whales, because this is basically, it's the 5th command, or it's the 5th command. So there's Cryptic Command and all those. This is like the 5th one because it's just a colorless command that you can cast and does 3 different things, and each of them is powerful. You can get rid of annoying, you can get rid of Bobs, you can get rid of Birds of Paradise, you can get rid of Noble Hierarchs. There's just a bunch of things you can target with Warping Whale that are good to remove if they're being annoying. You can get rid of Thalia, the old Thalia, not the new Thalia. And then you can counter-target Sorcerer Spell. I didn't really think that this was very relevant until I started realizing that other decks that are going to be playing Crumble to Dust against you, because Crumble to Dust is really good against the Tron decks, and so is Sowing Salts, but Warping Whale counters that for 2 mana. So it's very easy to leave up 2 mana Warping Whale and counter your opponent's Crumble to Dust. You feel pretty good when you do that. The old way of countering Crumble to Dust or Sowing Salts was to target your own Tron piece with a Ghost Quarter, and that didn't feel very good. Next, we've got 4 Nature's Claims. These are just, they have to be in the deck. They're good against Burn, they're good against Death Shadow, they're good against a whole host of decks, and against Affinity, it pretty much makes Affinity an easy win, because you can just pretty much remove any card that they throw at you. But finally, you've got you've also got Slaughter Games. This is a great combo destroyer. You can take out their combo pieces. Also good in the mirror because you can take out your opponent's Karns. And then you've also got an All Is Dust in here. This is just a good catch-all wipe. Hey Altorn, how's it going? Hope you're having a good night. This is just a good catch-all wipe. It doesn't hit any of your stuff, so you're able to just wipe the board. The only thing it does hit is if you bring it in with Leyline of Sanctity, it will get rid of your own Leyline. Finally, I've got some Torpor Orbs. These are just good catch-alls for countering like opposing Snapcaster Mages or Acidic Slimes or even Thought-Knot Seers. It just stops the front end of those. It's really good. I like it. It stops a lot of the Chord decks from going off too, so they can't just infinitely combo you out. Originally, it was in here to stop the Splinter Twin decks, but I found that it still does a pretty good job against a lot of the field, so I've just left them in. You've also got a 1-of Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. This is a debatable card. I've been toying around with the idea of going to the new Emrakul to be able to take your opponent's turn, because messing with your opponent's turns is really fun. But it occasionally gets brought in against mill decks, but there's not many of those that are viable. And against the really heavily controlling decks, it's kind of fun to be able to go, I'm going to cast a 15-mana uncounterable spell. It lets me take an extra turn. And it's really going to wreck you. And then, last but not least, is a couple Boils. Now, this is definitely from the era of Splinter Twin, but I have never been able to take them out because I just love messing with blue players. Because Tron is something that, once they got rid of Ayavugan, blue became kind of something that we couldn't really handle. So I've left Boil in because it's just a very good spoiler card. You can cast it on your opponent's end step. They have to respond to Boil, and if they respond to the Boil, you can resolve your other spells. Finally, there is the final land that I have, which is an Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. This is in here strictly to make Slaughter Games easier to cast. It's probably not right, the Slaughter Games and the Urborg, but it's what I like. It's what I've had in the deck for a couple years, and does a pretty good job. So I'm going to quick sell some packs, and then we're going to jump into a Modern League. So how's it going, Altorn? Yeah, you're not going to be very nice to us on Thursday, are you? It's going to be interesting. I'm excited that I get to be there. A little sad that Nate's not going to be able to join us, though. Alrighty. So let's go into the play lobby, and we'll see about going back to our collection. Yeah, he's got finals. It's not the best. Alright, so let's get into this constructed. Let's go into a league. We'll join a modern league. And we'll join... I don't know, do I want to join the friendly or the competitive? I think we're going to go for a friendly modern league. So yeah, we're going to go to a friendly modern league. Join the league. Let's play our first match with RG Tron. So have you rolled all our encounters yet, Jonathan? I would like to play first. This is a terrible hand. We're mulliganing this one. I think I'm going to try and keep this one. Okay, we'll have to push that to the bottom. That's unfortunate. That's probably a loose keep, but... Don't really like mulliganing past 6 with this deck. It doesn't do terribly well mulliganing past 6. Hopefully we see a land here. Ooh, what are we playing against? Alright, we got... that's not what we wanted to see. So this is a Scapeshift or a Valcut deck, which is pretty good against us. They can tend to just pop out a lot of threats really quickly. We're hoping to see another Tron piece or just a land to allow us to get something off of Expedition map. This wasn't the best keep. Nice thing is, though, is that game 1, they don't have a whole lot of reach against us. Or they don't have a whole lot of interaction with us. So hopefully another land. Okay, that's a land. I can deal with this. Alright, we're going to fetch up another Tron piece. And then we'll let our opponent go. So he's going to cast his Search for Tomorrow. So we're probably going to be bringing in some number of Leyline of Sanctity and probably Warping Whale to prevent our opponent from going off. I'm not sure if anything else is really going to be relevant. Possibly Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb might be pretty good against our opponent. They usually only play a Zeus, or they only usually play Sundering, or not Sundering Titan, Primeval Titan. That's the only thing that really punishes us, but it's still good to take them off of that from being able to just fetch up all of their lands. Alright, not really what we wanted to see. Alright, Ghost Quarters, not bad. We'll play our land. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a Through the Breach with an Emrakul, because Through the Breach Emrakul is pretty much just game over for us. Well, he doesn't have it right away, because he's stopping his upkeep. Wonder what he's debating. So if I had to guess, this is probably Titan Breach. They usually play a couple ramp spells, trying to get up to 5-6 mana, and then cast Through the Breach with Primeval Titan, fetch up Valakut, and hit you for a lot. We've got a decent game against Titan Breach. We usually can come down faster than they can. We just had a little bit of a bad draw this game. I probably should have mulliganed to 5, but this deck doesn't mulligan particularly well. Alright, our opponent does not have Through the Breach. Not the Tron piece we were hoping to see. We're going to play this Ghost Quarter because it might come in handy later. And then we're going to play this O-Stone. So our opponent was hoping to fade us, drawing our final Tron piece, and they did. So now he's going to fetch up. Probably 2 Valakuts. That's what I would fetch here. Maybe a Valakut and a land. Probably just 2 Valakuts, though. Nope, Valakut and a land. Okay. I am okay with this. I can take 3. Let's see what we draw. Well, unfortunately, I think we have to just leave open our Oblivion Stone and see what our opponent decides to throw at us. Ooh. Is this a Scapeshift? Interesting. I don't think it's going to work out quite the way he wants it to, because I'm just going to blow up the board. So I think our opponent punted there, unless he's got another Primeval Titan in hand, in which case, not so much of a punt. Alright, another land. Takes us down. Let's see if he has another Primeval Titan. Oh, Scapeshift, and we're just dead. Yep. This is why we're bringing in the Warping Whales and the Ley Lines. We'll make him do it correctly. But we are likely just dead. Oh, he did it wrong! Oh, he did it wrong. Oh, no, he didn't. I thought he did it wrong. It's just resolving. Alright. Yep, good game component. Good game opponent. Alrighty. Bring in Leyline of Sanctity. Bring in Warping Whale. Probably bring in Slaughter Games. And an Urborg. Take out Relics. Take out Pyroclasms, because they don't do anything in this matchup. We can probably add in... I wonder if we add in a number of Nature's... Ooh, I wonder if we bring in the Boils. I think we bring the Boils because our opponent's bringing in... Because our opponent is playing the Prismatic Omen, I'm going to bring in the Boils and then probably take out a Sphere. And I think the rest of it's fine. I don't think we need to bring in the rest. Torpor Orb is a little cute, I think, but they're going to be targeting us so much that I don't think it's going to matter too much. I really like the idea of hitting them with Boil, though. I hope they keep their Prismatic Omens in. I will keep this hand. This is a fine hand. It's got an Urza's Mine, a Chromatic Star, an Ancient Stirrings, a Leyline of Sanctity. It's got pretty much everything we want. So our opponent's probably going to have Destructive Revelry. which will take care of our Leyline of Sanctity, but that's a turn that he's taking off to play Destructive Revelry. I will play Leyline. Okay. Player Urza's Mine, player Chromatic Star, pass the turn. Opponent leading with Valakut. We draw an Ugin. We'll fetch for green mana. Ooh, we drew an Urza's Tower. We will cast an Ancient Stirrings. We will grab the Expedition map. We, however, will not be playing the Expedition map. We're just going to be playing an Urza's Tower and then passing the turn. Because we can just play the Grove of the Burn Willows and the Expedition map and crack it all next turn. No reason to expose it to a artifact destruction spell that's in his hand. Cinderglade from our opponent, just kind of doing nothing. Ooh, we grabbed an Ancient Stirrings. I will play the Expedition map. And I will fetch up the final Tron piece. And so next turn, I think we're going to lay down an Ugin. Because I think that does a little bit more against our opponent than a Wormcoil does. So yeah, I think we're going to lay down an Ugin. I think that puts pressure on our opponent to do something. Alright, Reclamation Sage, not bad. So I think I will bring in the Torpor Orbs for next game. Because he seems to be relying on creature removal rather than spell removal. So we'll play this Ugin. We'll hit the Reclamation Sage. And then our opponent kind of has to respond to this. And we're going to be able to play Wormcoil Engine next turn. Actually, we're going to be able to search with Ancient Stirrings, see what we find, and then see if we want to play Wormcoil Engine. This has the potential to be pretty good. So I'm not really worried about anything right here. Worst case scenario, our opponent has Simian Spirit Guides and then is able to Through the Breach us. But he seems like a Scapeshift deck, not a Through the Breach deck. Pulse of Marasa, gaining some life. He returned Wooded Foothills to his hand. Alright, well, we are going to cast Ancient Stirrings. We found a Karn Liberated. We are going to play Grove of the Burn Willows. Play our Karn Liberated. We're going to hit our opponent's Valakut. Hit our opponent for 3. And then pass to our opponent. And now our opponent's pretty much in between a rock and a hard place. I don't think he can win from here. Because I'm just going to eat his land with Karn. Yep, I don't care about your Obstinate Baloth. So yeah, we're going to eat his land with Karn. And then ultimate our Ugin. Oh, this is going to be brutal. Okay, we're going to eat this land. We are going to ultimate Ugin. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, and our opponent just concedes. So he didn't even see our secret tech. We're going to bring in some Torpor Orbs, take out 2 more Spheres, and run it back. And see what our opponent does. So this final game is going to really come down to having either a Warping Whale in hand or a Leyline of Sanctity in hand. We need to stem our opponent's aggression. Or Natural Tron with a Karn would be great. It's always great. It's about a 33% chance on the draw. We've hurt that a little bit by taking out a couple of our stars, but otherwise we haven't really touched the fetch package. Hey, look it! Natural Tron with Karn. I'll take this every day of the week. Man, I am so good at Magic. Like, this is just unbelievable. Yeah, you can cast that Search for Mana. I'm okay with this. Oh, a second Karn. How delightful. Yeah, that's how these games go, Jonathan. These games just go real crazy. So, I'm going to play a Power Plant, and then I'm going to play a Spellskite. Our opponent's probably going to have a Destructive Revelry for this. We don't really mind. Oh, Nature's Claim. Yep, yep. Well, I am, Jonathan. I am so good at Magic. But I mean, seriously, this deck just plays itself. Alright. That's a Tireless Tracker. We don't really care about the Tireless Tracker. I mean, we kind of care about the Tireless Tracker, but really we don't. I think we're just going to play Karn, hit our opponent's fetch land. He now has to spend a turn hitting Karn. Then next turn we get to play another Karn, but after we've tutored up an Urza's Tower. You have to hit Karn. Yep, Karn down. Our opponent for 4 mana plays a Farseek. If he plays another Farseek, we're exiling the card in his hand. Okay, he drew a card. Okay. I don't believe I can do that. I could rip all the Valcuts out of... I can't name lands. I could rip all the Scapeshifts out of his deck, or I could just stick with my original plan. I think I'm going to stick with my original plan. We're just going to play that, crack it, grab another tower, play tower, play Karn, exile another land. So I think our opponent has to win this turn, otherwise he's just dead. Again, we're just distracting our opponent with these Karns. That's all we're doing. They have to respect them. I don't really even mind about these clue tokens, because his clue tokens can't do anything against us. Like, as soon as we drop this Ulamog, the game's over. That's a Prismatic Omen. We don't really care about the Prismatic Omen. That's fine. You had your fun. Here is an Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, getting rid of 2 of your lands. You're back to 4 lands. Our opponent frantically drawing cards, hoping to find some way out of this. I think since he has a Prismatic Omen in play, we're just going to name... do we name that or not? I can't tell. Let's see what we draw for the turn. And we drew another Karn. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to play Karn and then Sylvan Scrying for a Ghost Quarter. So yeah, we're just going to Sylvan Scrying for a Ghost Quarter. And our opponent just scoops it up. So that's game 1. Alright, well that's how we needed to draw it up to beat our opponent on the draw. Just have turn 3 Tron. It's the power of Tron, people. Your opponent's going to be fast, but 7 mana Karn is pretty much GG's. Feels pretty good to be able to play a turn 3 Karn, and then a turn 4 Karn, and then a turn 5 Ulamog. Your opponents usually lose after you do that. This is a fine hand. We'll keep it. It's a little light. It's a little light on threats, but it's got a decent density of lands. So I think we'll play the power plant first, then play the chromatic star, and then we'll hope to draw into something. These are actually the kind of hands that I like to play, because you very rarely get mana flooded in this deck. You're only playing 20 lands, so the odds that you're going to draw all of them in a game is pretty slim. Also, a lot of your cards, like Chromatic Stars, Ancient Stirring, Sylvan Scryings, all of that, we've got like 10 to 15 cards that just say draw a card on them. So yeah, well, I thought our opponent might have had a Thoughtseize there. Alright, so we're going to play the Urza's Mine, tap for green, and play a Chromatic Sphere. We are not going to crack the Chromatic Sphere. Don't really want to give our opponent any targets for Thoughtseize that might be coming up. So our opponent's Jund. We have a Dark Confidant in play now. That's going to be a little annoying. We should be able to get rid of that. Hopefully we draw a Pyroclasm. Nope, just an Ulamog. I think here we're going to go for green mana. Should have gone for the red mana. Oh well. Play a Sanctum of Ugin. And then we'll play an Oblivion Stone. So this puts our opponent live to a Kolaghan's Command for a couple turns. Or Maelstrom Pulse, but that means he has to waste his Maelstrom Pulse on our Oblivion Stone, which we're fine with. There's an argument there that I should have played the Forest instead of the Sanctum. That way, in case we draw a Sylvan Scrying, I could have cast it and then grabbed a Grove of the Burn Willows to be able to cast our Pyroclasm. But in reality, if we grab a Sylvan Scrying, we're grabbing our third Tron piece. We're not going to be cute. So I like playing against the Jund decks. They're very interactive, but they kind of fold to the top decks because we top deck way better cards than they do. I mean, with Dark Confidant, they top deck a couple more cards, but I still think on average our 6 and 7 CMC cards are better than their 2 and 3 mana CMC cards. Probably not facing a Death Shadow deck because he didn't pay for the Blood Crypt. Otherwise, you would just always pay for the Blood Crypt. Especially since you saw that we were on Tron, you would just always pay for it. So here I'm expecting a Lily or a Tarmogoyf. Oh, nope, just an Abrupt Decay. That's fine. So our opponent still has Maelstrom Pulse in hand, which we're fine with. We're going to play it on this Forest. And just past our opponent. So our opponent's drawn pretty live here. We're kind of on the back foot. If he plays a Tarmogoyf, we're in a bad way. So yeah, Abrupt Decay and Maelstrom Pulse, reasons not to play out your Oblivion Stones, but I was fine with him spending his turn to take out our O-Stone. Kitchen Finks. Oh, this might be a... I haven't seen this version of Jund with Kitchen Finks. Interesting. Guess it's good against the burn matchup. But definitely not a Death Shadow deck. Death Shadow does not run Kitchen Finks. So this looks like traditional Jund. Alright, down to 16. Opponent's probably going to play the Kitchen Finks because we know about it. At least that's what I would do. Also doesn't have Lily because he would have fetched up a green-black source with his Wooded Foothills. So he might now have Lily. Oh, Chandra. Alright, that's pretty good. So we're going to need to draw some gas here pretty soon. Lily of the Veil. Okay, so their opponent does have lilies. Alright, so this is sort of a control Jund matchup. Not bad. Alright, there's the map that we were hoping for. We're going to play our... Doesn't really matter what we're going to play. So I think we're just going to play a Ghost Quarter. And then play map. And then we're just going to leave it up to our opponent as to what they want to do. Another Dark Confidant from our opponent. So if our opponent's smart, they'll Thoughtseize us here. That's if they have Thought Seizes, but it's Death Shadow. Or it's not Death Shadow, it's Jund. They have Thought Seizes. Buried in Catacombs. Enter the revealed or exiled zone. So let's see what our opponent does. So he doesn't have Lily because he exiled that one, but he might have another one. How's it going, Jan Biff? How you doing tonight? We're playing some red-green Tron. So I believe we're going to be fetching with this Sanctum of Ugin as well. This is the reason that I have the Sundering Titans in this list. Is because against decks like these, we're going to be able to hit 1, 2, 3 lands and put our opponent down to 2, 3 lands maybe, off of our Sundering Titan. So I feel pretty good about that. We'll just see if the opponent has the Pyroclasm or the Thought Seize or not. If they have a Thought Seize, we're not going to fetch up our Tron piece. We're going to fetch up a red source so we can play this Pyroclasm. We still need to fade this Chandra at some point, but not a whole lot we can do about it right now. And I just feel better getting some early aggression off the field. Although our opponents hit some pretty high-costing stuff with their Dark Confidant, so they're doing a pretty good job working themselves. Scavenging Ooze we do not care about. So yeah, we're just going to fetch up our final Tron piece, which is the Tower of Power. And then untap. Ooh, we got a Relic of Progenitus. That's pretty good. So here, we're just going to make our opponent very sad. And we're going to cast our Ugin. And we're going to target his 2 biggest creatures, or his biggest threats, which are his Dark Confidant and his Chandra. Alright. I would like to sacrifice to search. I'm going to search up a Sundering Titan. And that's probably going to be game if our opponent can't resolve anything against this. So if he has Liliana, we're kind of okay with that because it just means we have to sacrifice our Ulamog. It means Scavenging Ooze dodges our Pyroclasm, but we don't really mind that. So our opponent fetched up a Overgrown Tomb. So our opponent needs to have the best draw here. Our opponent would need to rip exactly Lily into Thoughtseize, and then also leave up a green mana to eat our Ulamog. If he doesn't do that, then I think we have this game on lock. Our opponent very confused as to what's going on, as to why they're losing. They don't understand it. They had this game on lockdown. They've got 7 cards in hand. They should be the ones winning this game. But that's the power of Tron. You can kind of turn around games at the drop of a hat. But so Jonathan, if you're still listening, how's the music sound? Oh, there's Kitchen Finks. So our opponent does not have Liliana. And there's another Dark Confidant. Well, this is going to go poorly for our opponent because hopefully we can draw a red mana source. We did not draw a red mana source. That's unfortunate. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 mana. I think 9 mana. We have 11 mana. I think we're going to spend 1 or 2 of our mana to spend some of our mana and then play a Sundering Titan. And yes, I would like to always yield to these triggers. And we're just going to hit 3 of our opponent's lands. And then we're going to exile a card and draw a card. Alright. So there should be music. Can you not hear it? You might not be able to hear it. Let me turn up said music. See if that makes it better. Alright, there should be music now. See if that did anything. We're not going to be attacking. It's not Caribbean per se. If you look under my deck name and my face, which I need to change my deck name actually. I've had the wrong deck name in here for the entire time. Modern Red Green Tron. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's see what our opponent does. Negato the Drew Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf's pretty small right now. If our opponent actually decides to Maelstrom Pulse us and pulses the Sundering Titan, we're going to hit his Twilight Mire. Yeah, we're going to hit his Twilight Mire. And hopefully our opponent is smart and picks up a forest. If not, we kind of get to wreck him. Oh, he couldn't find a basic land. Alrighty. I will destroy your other forest. You may attack when ready, sir. What do you mean, Muzak? Did I turn down the music again? Is that better? It's not elevator music. It's rainwave.cc. That it's a copyright-free music channel that plays a bunch of older video game music. It's not elevator music. It's video game music. Okay, so our opponent's attacking. We're hoping that he does this attack because we're just going to hit his Kitchen Finks. And then take 2. But our opponent's hurting pretty bad. I don't actually care for dubstep. I know it's blasphemous, but I just don't care for it. Alright, you can have 2 more life. I don't mind about the 2 more life. Alrighty. So here we're going to play our... No, we want that one. Play our Sylvan Scrying, grab a Grove of the Burn Willows, play a Grove of the Burn Willows, add red, Pyroclasm our opponent's board, and this should force the concession. Alrighty. Get to see what's all up in our opponent's library. So yeah, a fairly standard Jund list. Not too much to worry about. The Chandras are kind of annoying. The Fatal pushes are almost entirely useless against us. The Maelstrom Pulses are kind of annoying. Have to be careful playing out double Wormcoil Engine. I'm not showing him Wormcoil Engine because I don't have to. Alright. So for game 2, we bring in the Leyline of Sanctity. We bring in... I wonder if Torpor Orbs. No. We bring in the All Is Dust. Probably a Warping Whale and probably some number of Nature's Claims. We'll take out 2 Relics because we don't really care. Some number of Chromatic Spheres. I think a Karn. And maybe just another Chromatic Sphere. So yeah. I'm a big proponent of taking out spheres. They die if they die to artifact destruction. You don't get to draw a card off of them. Stars are much safer. You rarely need the colored mana off of them. You can usually work around it. I like this pretty well. This setup's going to work well for us. The Warping Whale is in for if they have Crumble to Dusts. The Nature's Claims are in for if they have Blood Moons. The All Is Dust is just if we get overwhelmed because they have Maelstrom Pulses. We need to have something that's not O-Stone. Also, we're not going to be playing our O-Stones out unless we need to distract our opponents. This guy seems like he was fairly easily distracted. So we're going to be looking to play off of that again. Hopefully that works. Oh, why am I offline? I shouldn't be offline. This league is going to be about 5. This is going to be 5 rounds. It's so weird. We can't really keep this hand, even though it has the Leyline of Sanctity. We have to mulligan this hand. This hand's fine. It's not great. We don't want that. We're going to put that on the bottom. I must be dropping frames like mad. Yep, Thoughtseize takes the Chromatic Star. This is why we would have liked to have kept that opening hand with Leyline of the Void, but our opponent was able to keep a group of 7. Okay, this is a League of 5. We're going to be playing all 5 rounds tonight. I played the first round, and now we're in the second. And he took our Chromatic Star, and we got a second. So we're going to play the Urza's Power Plant and play the Chromatic Star. And then we'll F8. So I'm hoping our opponent plays a Bob here, because I'm just going to snap off a Pyroclasm on a Bob. I do not mind doing that. I don't want our opponent getting extra value. Alright, I'm not going to actually crack... yeah, I'm not going to crack this, because I don't want our opponent to take another card from our hand. But I'm also not playing out this Expedition map because I don't want our opponent to blow it up. Well, that's unfortunate. I think we're going to ditch... I think we have to ditch the Pyroclasm here. Which is unfortunate. Alright, so we got another map. I think because I want to have something else to discard. No, I think we just keep it. Usually 2 is necessary to not mulligan a hand, but I can keep a 1-lander if it's got a bunch of ways to search up stuff, so it really just depends. You prefer to keep a hand with 2 Tron pieces and a way to search. Your next favorite hand would be 2 Tron pieces and a way to draw a card. And your next favorite hand is 1 Tron piece and a way to draw, 2 ways to search and draw a card. And then final is 1-lander with a way to draw a card. But you only keep those types of hands as you get further and further down. Yep. So I'm really hoping our opponent doesn't have another Lily and is willing to sacrifice the first Lily so that they can get our Urza's Tower, because that'd be really sad. Doesn't look like that's the case, though. There's a Dark Confidant. We're okay with Dark Confidant. I think here we will just go for the killing the Dark Confidant route. Yield. That's a nice Warping Whale. We'll Pyroclasm here. We'll see what our opponent does. He's probably going to make us sacrifice something, or make us both discard a card, unless he really likes his last card in hand. Well, that's unfortunate. So there goes our Urza's Tower. Our opponent is okay with making us discard. Joke's on you. I have a 1/1. I made a 1/1. Joke's on you, opponent. You lost a card. I didn't lose anything. I mean, I lost my Urza's tower, which is pretty bad. Turn the music down a wee bit, he says. Okay. We'll try there. See how that does. See if that makes it better. I will now attack my opponent. Attack Liliana, that is. Because I do not want to lose my board state. Also, what do you mean that's not all that great? The fact that they had the Fulminator Mage? Yeah, that's pretty bad. Fulminator Mage is my least favorite card for them to have. But it's not the worst. Joke's on you. I'm gonna make a mana. I will not be part of your system. Yeah, killing the tower was pretty good. Another Lily. Alright. So, back-to-back Lilies. Not a whole lot we can do about that. I don't even know what our best draw is anymore, because just drawing another... Like, drawing a way to draw Karn would be nice. Yeah, Wormcoil Engine's bad, because he'll just make us discard it. So, this one's looking pretty much over. Our opponent just had the right sequence of cards to beat us. Yep. And now he gets to start swinging with his Raging Ravine, which is pretty good. So that Fulminator Mage was pretty heavy axe in the back. So what we're hoping to do is we're hoping to draw a tower or a Chromatic Star and be able to fetch a tower and then be able to hit like an Ugin or an Ulamog or something. But we need to hit tower first. So tower first is part of the plan. That's a Pyroclasm. Yeah, I'm just going to call this one. Yeah, we weren't drawing anything for a couple turns. I like our sideboard. Maybe it needs to go down a Nature's Claim, but I really think it's fine. So them's the beats sometimes when your opponents have Fulminator Mages and can stick things before you can, but our game 2 should be pretty good. Our game 3 should be pretty good. Tron versus Jund is usually a pretty fair matchup. If I can stick a Leyline, my opponent's kind of sunk, because their only answer to that is Maelstrom Pulse. And they didn't see Leyline, so hopefully we can draw it. This is a great hand. I'll keep it every day of the week, twice on Sundays. I usually like having a one-way to backup fetch for a Tron piece, which is kind of why I was wondering if I should keep that expedition map around, but I didn't really have a choice based on the mulligans and how our opponents played. So all this hand needs is a Karn, or a Wormcoil Engine, or that's about it. Those two cards. Opponent's mulliganing to 6, that's a good sign for us. Opponent kept his 6, it's less good for us. But we like these to be interesting games. So we'll see where this goes. Lead with mine. Play expedition map. F8. So I'm using a key code known as F8 to preserve time. It allows me to auto-yield while our mana is tapped and we can't activate abilities. I'm going to play a power plant here. And then we're going to let our opponent think that he may have X6 through our turn. Hopefully he doesn't have Nature's Claim. So our opponent's probably going to Thoughtseize us here. At least I would be looking to Thoughtseize. Alright, opponent didn't Thoughtseize. We'll grab the tower. We will play the star. tap star for green. Always yield. There's an Ulamog. We'll play an expedition map. And we will pass the turn. And we will see what our opponent does. So, I'm hoping our opponent doesn't have a Fulminator Mage, but if they do, it's not the end of the world. This might be Abrupt Decay. This is Abrupt Decay. I am going to tutor up an Urza's Tower. This gives us our best out. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have Fulminator Mage, but he probably does. Hopefully he picks the Urza's Power Plant. If he picks the Urza's Power Plant, we have the replacement in hand. There's the Fulminator Mage. Make the wrong choice. Ah, I need the Power Plant. Okay, cool. So we're going to trick our opponent a little bit. We're going to play the Urza's Tower. Make our opponent think that we don't have Tron. We have all the Tron pieces. Okay, so we're going to play the tower. Our opponent's going to be like, yeah, we got him. Now we can resolve spells. And then I'm going to play a Power Plant next turn and just Ulamog him. Here's a Lily. I will discard a Pyroclasm. Yep, I will discard a Pyroclasm. And here's the backup Power Plant. And here's an Ulamog. Bet you're feeling pretty silly now. Take away the red source. This might just force the concession because he already pitched a Liliana, and I'm killing his other Liliana. So unless he has another Liliana, this is going to be pretty much GG. Like he has to have 3 Lilianas here for this to be good for him. And that's the game. So we are 2-0. Alrighty. So we are 2-0 with Red Green Tron. We have beaten a Scapeshift deck, and we have beaten a Jund deck. Let's see what we can play now. Waiting for our next opponent. And we'll join the match. Waiting for our opponent. So yeah, the main reason that last game that we played the tower rather than just playing our replacement. Oh, this is a terrible hand. You get hands like these occasionally. I've been seeing a lot more of these hands lately. Haven't really changed the deck too much, so I don't know why we're seeing. I guess we're just regressing to the mean. That's a fine hand. We'll keep that. Hopefully our opponent isn't on Jund, but I feel like we're going to be facing more Jund opponents the further up we get into the standings. No, I'm going to bottom that. That's not really what we want to see right now. How's it going, Stamp Me? Oh, and I thought I bottomed that. Yep, I did. Skips third draw step. Why did I take a turn? Why did I draw a card? Huh. I'm not supposed to draw a card there unless our opponent just skipped their entire turn. Interesting. So our opponent missed their turn. And now we get to go Power Plant into Chromatic Star. So I wonder what our opponent's playing. That keeping a 5-lander with 5-card hand. Our opponent's probably on Affinity. Affinity is one of the few decks that I can see keeping a no-lander and playing. So if our opponent's on Affinity, we're pretty happy. Affinity... Oh, not Affinity. Just skipped their first turn, apparently. Skipped their first turn because they didn't have it. And there's the Natural Tron. Okay, we're just going to play out the Urza's Mine and play a Relic. So again, we are just that good at Magic. We have turn 3 Tron on the draw, which is about a 35% chance. And probably going to walk it right into our opponent's Remand or Negate that he has. And that's fine. Actually, do we want to walk it in? No, now that we've drawn the Sanctum of Ugin, we're going to run out our Worm Coil engine into this. This dodges Negate. And we don't really mind hitting... Okay, so this is good. Even if our opponent has the Path to Exile, we're fine with that. Okay. Yes, I would like to draw. Or I would like to fetch. Alrighty. So, our opponent might have had a counterspell there. We don't know. I just don't like really running things out into that, especially when I have the Sanctum in hand. So, I am going to exile a card from your graveyard. I am now going to Ancient Stirrings. I'm going to pick up this Ulamog. So that's going to come down next turn. We don't even have to do anything for it now. I think we just play a regular Power Plant. And just try and resolve our Karn Liberated. So this is pretty disgusting. This is kind of... Yep, and that's the game. Opponent is playing some sort of control deck, so we're going to bring in our Boils, because those seem pretty good. We're going to bring in all of our Nature's Claims, because they're playing white. We're going to hit our Relic of Progenituses. We're going to bring in our Torpor Orbs. And we're going to cut a bunch of Spheres, probably a Karn. Maybe a Pyroclasm. We're going to cut all our Spheres, and a Pyroclasm and a Karn. And we'll call that good. And we'll just go from here. So, another turn 3 Tron. That's what the deck does. And look at that, turn 3 Tron. With some stuff to do. This hand's pretty bad if our opponent has Stony Silence, but we're kind of okay with that. Because that means our opponent has Stony Silence. And we're just live to any good draw. Okay, so our opponent's got green in his deck. Interesting. He's a Bant deck, so he might just be... Maybe he... Okay, so he's just this deck, and I misread, and I shouldn't have sided out that Pyroclasm. Okay. I think we're still right in everything else that we did. So, I'm really glad I brought in the Torpor Orbs now, because it means that if he's on the Kitchen Finks plan, we're fine. But if he's on the Devoted Druid plan, we're a little bit soft to the Devoted Druid. So I fully expect to get hit with a Stony Silence here. Here's a Devoted Druid. Oh, Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks. Alright. The funny thing is, we don't really care if our opponent goes to infinite life. Like, that's not really one of our top priorities. So we're just going to crack this for green mana, see if we can find something. Full redundancy on Tron. So we have double redundancy on all of our Tron stuff. That's about as good as you can run it. So 3 board wipes over the next couple of turns. Unless our opponent plays Stony Silence, I think we're sitting pretty. I could see Stony Silence and Noble Hierarch coming out, and that would be pretty sad. All the mana. So this is the 1% of the games that you flood out. This would have been a good game to bring in our Emrakul, apparently, because we just have all the mana. I'm lying. Emrakul is a terrible card in this matchup. So our opponent has the Collected Company, and he's going to try and resolve that on our end step, which is fine by me, because I'm just going to bait him with an O-Stone. Oh, wow, that's a real good card. I think we're just going to bait that out now. So now our opponent's going, I didn't want to do this now, but I guess I have to. So he's going to try for a Collected Company, and he's going to hope to hit a Qasali Pride Mage or a Devoted Druid and his combo piece. Unified Will. Okay, I'm fine with the Unified Will. That's fine. It means he didn't have, or he didn't want to use it, but now I have protection against that. So Torpor Orb was probably our best draw there, actually. That was one of the best things that we could have drawn. Oh, there's a Ghost Quarter. We do not care. We do not care. Yes, I would like to grab a Forest. Go ahead and fade yourself on mana. That's fine. So our opponent has Unified Wills. Good to know. What are you casting? Oh, Eldritch Evolution. Oh. Okay, so this is an Eldritch Evolution deck. Interesting. What are you planning to get for X's? What are you going to get for 4 or 5 mana? I guess technically 1 through 5 mana. I don't know what they get here. I don't actually know what this deck does. Probably Restoration Angel? No, Rallier. Getting another Ghost Quarter. Seems good. Yep. Alright, our opponent really doesn't know how to play with Ghost Quarters against us, because if he was going to do that, he might have waited to our upkeep, or actually to our draw step to do that. I'm going to play the replacement Urza's Tower, and then we'll just hold up mana. So, our opponent's got a pretty spicy deck. Seems pretty good. Hopefully he does not have another of those Eldritch Evolutions. Attacks me for 5. I mean, Karn's needed, but like at the same time, this guy's just going ham on my lands. Put me to 9. Cast another Eldritch Evolution. Hit another Renegade Rallier. That'd be pretty brutal. Be pretty brutal. Okay, so I'm definitely glad I brought in the Torpor Orbs. Eldritch Evolution is a sorcery, I believe, so we're going to be bringing in our Warping Whales to combat that nonsense. Maybe our opponent has Stony Silence here? I'd be okay with the Stony Silence here. Another Rallier. Gets another Ghost Quarter trigger. Alright, alright. I see what you're throwing down, opponent. Alright. So I need a Chromatic Star and a Pyroclasm. Fierce. Man. Okay, well, our opponent doesn't actually know how this game works. Oh, no, because I can't get another one. Oh, dang. Yes. Failed to find. Okay. Alright. Oh, another tower. What do you got, opponent? Do you have another one? So we lose to Affinity Township, or 2 creatures, and Anafenza and another creature. Whew, can't believe I dodged that. Alright. Oh, make your attacks. Alright, there goes his board. What's our opponent got? I was like, if it's another rallier, so help me. So help me. I really hope that this doesn't come back to bite me. Okay, so you got to land. That's fine. We are fine with lands. Lands for days, if you please. Alrighty, I guess we try and resolve an O-Stone. O-Stone sticks. O-Stone's good. That's fine. I believe I'm going about as fast as I can. It's probably my upload is being hit really hard. So I'm not really a whole lot I can do about the resolution right now. If you want, you can catch the stream on YouTube when I post it there. But yeah, not a whole lot I can do about the quality of the stream right now. We'll play another... We'll play an O-Stone. Yeah, it really comes down to my... maybe I can... I mean, I really can't do anything about the resolution. I'm outputting at 1080, apparently. I think I can check that. Video. Yeah, I'm putting out at 1080 at 30 FPS. I might be able to drop it down, but yeah. At some point I would love to be able to work on getting the stream quality up, because I know that seeing things all buggy is pretty hard. Anyway, that does the opposite problem that I want it to do. Yeah. It could just be Moto, but I mean, you should be able to read the cards. You should be getting the same view that I'm getting. Whew. Stabilizing. Oh man, just more lands. Great. I love more lands. So again, this is the 1% of games. The punt count is just if I ever make a really big blunder. I made one earlier before you were seeing some stuff, but it's just an overall count of how hard I punt during a game. Basically, if you're able to, yeah. Basically, if you're able to say, "Why did you do that? You saw an onboard trick. You walked right into it." So my opponent right now just getting away with murder. No, there's a Felidar Guardian. I don't know if I... Yeah, Torpor would have been sick this game. Yep, you can have your other land back. I just need something that can deal with his board, because I just need to be able to do something. And I am totally okay with our opponent eating up this much of his clock. Because he is eating up a ton of clock trying to get me to lose this match. Alright. So here comes another Renegade Rallier. Oh, Voice of Resurgence. Okay. That's different. And there's the boom goes the dynamite. So we're just going to cast Karn Liberated. Always yield. Yes. I would like to grab probably a Sundering Titan, actually. Yeah, I think Sundering Titan's the better call here. Alright, we're going to exile this card. And then I've got 6 mana, 7 mana. Can't quite cast the Sundering Titan yet. So I think we're just going to play our Grove of the Burned Willows and just go from here. So I think our opponent concedes here, but maybe not. We're going to get to hit 4 lands. It's going to be pretty great. Going to target a card in our opponent's hand. Birds of Paradise got exiled. So we're now going to cast a Sundering Titan. What do you got, opponent? Got a Remand? Spell Queller. Alright, that doesn't do it. Yep. So our opponent thinks they've got us good. I don't think they do, though. Okay, so if I go and I'm going to leave them with a forest if I do it this way, which I don't think I want to do, so I think I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. And then I'm going to play a Torpor Orb. And then I think I'm just going to pass to my opponent. So our opponent thinks he's got us pretty good. He does not. He does not have us pretty good. Alright. We're just gonna blow up our own expedition map. Hit me to 3. And this should cause our opponent to scoop it up. He had a final Eldritch Evolution. Wow. Wow. He had the final Eldritch Evolution. That is insane. His final card was Eldritch Evolution. And he's going to tutor up something. And it's not going to matter. We're just going to hit it with Karn. Ladies and gentlemen, the power of Torpor Orb, the power of Karn, the power of Sundering Titan. This is the main reason I like to run Sundering Titan in this deck, is that you get to hit a lot of these greedy decks. Yep, there's a Knight of the Reliquary. This is what I think of your Knight of the Reliquary. Here's a Wormcoil Engine. So now we get to hit our opponent for 7, and the next turn is 13. And we have O-Stone backup. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think our opponent is finally in his death throes. Yep, stabilizing at 1, then going to 5. And there we go, we're 3-0 with Red-Green Tron. Now we're just playing the gravy matches because we've gotten our entry fee back, and we're even up a little bit with a treasure chest. Yeah, I can play another one of these another day. But we're going for the sick 5-0s, man. We've got to make it to the 4-0. Got to beat the next guy. But this is the power of Red-Green Tron. Does good things. Does really good things. I know I'm super greedy, but I want to go infinite, man. I want to go infinite. Going infinite being the term for being able to play Magic Online for free because you win so much that you just keep getting your prizes back. You get your entry fee plus more back, so you can just keep playing and playing and playing. Hopefully if I get that good. It's not that I'm so good at Magic, it's that Red-Green Tron is just the best. Like, this deck is just silly. It wins you so many free games of Magic when your opponents just go, yep, I can't beat a turn 3 Karn. And it has surprising longevity, and it's sort of toolboxy with that Sanctum of Ugin. Anything with like Jund decks, I play it off as being confident against them, but really they're pretty terrible to play against if they get all their discard in the right order. Like if they get a threat and some discard and then keep me off Tron for a while, it's pretty rough. A strictly control deck that's able to just keep constantly countering all my spells that doesn't play islands. That's one that I'm really worried about. Burn is a terrible matchup. Other than that, not a whole lot. I'm going to keep this. Has no way to get green mana, but the deck's pretty good at filtering. This could be argued as being a mulligan, but I like to keep 2-land Tron hands. We have 8 things, or no, we have 12 cards that draw us mana. Alright, so we're against Affinity, so this is a terrible hand against Affinity. But that's fine. So this is a really aggressive Affinity hand. Gross. Affinity, game 1, Affinity can be rough because we don't have our total board destruction package in. I mean, we've got, I think, 7 pieces of destruction in our opener, or in our opening. Oh man, this is like the turn 5 Affinity kill, or the turn 4 Affinity kill, right here. This is good. Alrighty. Well, okay, that was a card that we needed to draw, but we still need something better than that. Yeah, homeboy got Master Hand. He got the nuts. Granted, you know, if I had a Pyroclasm, this wouldn't be as bad. It's still pretty bad, but wouldn't be as bad. So we're getting hit for 3, 6, 9 damage now. You're getting hit for 9, go to 9. Yeah, but this is over. No sense seeing any more of this game. Because with that welding jar, he's just got us buried, dead to rights. Yep, there is nothing we can draw that gets us out of this. So we will concede and not show him anymore. As far as he knows, we are RG Tron. We are going to bring in 4 of our Nature's Claims. We're going to bring in a Warping Whale. All his dust is terrible against this player. We're going to get rid of some Relics of Progenitus. We're going to get rid of a couple Karns. And 1 Sphere. And that's our game plan. It's just to hit them with 4 Nature's Claim, 4 Pyroclasm, a Warping Whale, a Spellskite, Oblivion Stones. That's our game plan. Ugin stays in just because it could pick off random things. We keep a couple Karns in because they're nice to be able to hit stuff. Wormcoil is great to stabilize, especially if they're running the Etched Champion plan. I grabbed the Warping Whale, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. But the only other card that you could probably bring in is you could bring in 1 Leyline if you feel like your opponent's going to be playing. I need a mulligan. This hand doesn't do enough. This hand is fine. This hand's a great hand, actually. This deals with all of the Affinity hands. So our opponent's probably going for broke, and they're going to be going home pretty badly. Deciding to go to 5. We will put that on top, because a way to draw a card is awesome. So we're actually hoping that our opponent just spews his hand, because that means that we just get to annihilate him with a Pyroclasm. So yeah, we're hoping that our opponent just plays his entire hand out turn 1. But the only card that we're really hoping he doesn't have is the welding jar. Won't have enough mana if I take it away from him. I think we just pause and we play a Chromatic Sphere. Let him play out a turn. Hopefully we don't get burned too badly for it. That was a pretty conservative Affinity hand. Because we're probably going to get punished because he probably has Ravager here. Yeah. So we're hoping to draw a Nature's Claim, or that. That works too. Just grab a green land. Play a Sylvan Scrying. Grab our final Tron piece. I mean, there goes Pyroclasm in a way, but it also makes him put it all on the Ravager. Like, that's what we were debating, was playing the Pyroclasm last turn to hit the Ornithopter so he couldn't Ravager us. But it's not, like, we're not dead here. Like, our opponent still has to play smart. Like, you can't just dump everything onto the Syncmont Nexus. Sorry, Blink Moth Nexus. It's not even Ink Moth Nexus. Like, this is the one that we don't care about. Alright, we're getting hit for 3. So here we actually get to go... we actually do get to Pyroclasm here. Because our opponent has to dump it all. And then he won't have enough, like, he'll have to activate things to activate things. So he has to eat all of his artifacts. Which means that he doesn't have enough mana to do stuff. And we're fine with this, because it means that he has to now spend all of his mana doing that stuff. And now we get to play a Wormcoil Engine. And then next turn we get to play another Wormcoil Engine. And then the turn after that, hopefully we get to play something else. So yeah, if our opponent wants to hit us again for a bunch, or hit us in the air, he has to animate, pump, and sacrifice his Arcbound Ravager. Otherwise, he's poking us for 1 in the air, and that doesn't hurt too bad. Oh, okay. Just dispatched. Not bad. Hits us for 4. Alright. Play another Wormcoil Engine. So I'd love to draw Nature's Claim here. Nature's Claim, or even just a Ghost Quarter would be like an ace in the hole. Oh, there's another dispatch. Wow. Has another dispatch. That is intense. Alrighty. So we're drawing to like Karn, Ulamog, Sundering Titan. That works too. We'll just play that. Grab a Ghost Quarter. Play that. So this is just protection. It's not even like... It's not... I'm not actually going to use it. We're going to get hit for 5 here, and it's going to hurt. Don't think we're dead if he has Cranial Plating. 1, 2, 3. Another Arcbound Ravager. Alright. Alright. It's not bad. Pretty good, actually. So now we're hoping for like O-Stone. O-Stone seems pretty good here. Nature's Claim's good too. think we have to just hold our mana. Well, I think our opponent's got us. But only barely. Becomes a creature. Okay, I know how to do it. Shit. Sorry. I am watching my own stream. Yes. No, I do know how to pop out chat. I just... If you're saying if I do that, that'll clear up all of my stream issues. Now I go here, and go Pyroclasm, or go Nature's Claim on that. There, I closed my own chat window. See if our opponent finds the line. No. My limitation is how much I can upload, not how much I can download. Uploading is what I'm getting capped at. Downloading I have plenty of bandwidth. I can be watching multiple streams at the same time and be fine for my bandwidth. It's the upload that I am unable to do anything about. How'd you get an extra counter on him? I only had a counter on him. That's just... Your upload is always capped. It's capped at like 3. Oh, he sacked Ravager. Oh, right. Yeah. That's how it was. Yeah, I was dead there no matter what I did. No, your upload's always capped at, from your ISP, and mine's capped at like 3, 2.5, 3-ish. My download is not my limiting. No, that wasn't BS. That was just me trying to make him miss. Yes, I would like to play first. I will keep this hand. Fine, I'll put it in. Hunt counter. We are at 2. So that actually helped with my stream resolution. Did closing down my my YouTube or my watching myself on Twitch help with that? Nope, it didn't. All right. What do you got, opponent? What do you got? Not Jund. Alright, we got a shot. Oh, I love this deck. I love playing against this deck. This deck's really fun to play against. Because we're going to grab... helped a little bit? Okay, well, whatever. I will stop watching my own stream from now on. Alrighty, we're going to play a Karn. And our opponent might just concede. Yeah, he concedes. Okay. What do you know? 2 Scapeshift decks. One day. Bring in this. Bring in Leyline of Sanctity. Bring in some number of Nature's Claims. Keep the Sphere, drop the Pyroclasms. Maybe another Nature's Claim. Maybe he'll do math wrong. Slaughter game, slaughter game. Bring out a forest, bring in an Urborg. Submit. Alright, cool. Well, let's see if we can get the 4-1. I like this hand. Does things. Not good things, but things. Search for tomorrow. Well, I have turn 3 Tron again. So there's always hope. Always hope. There's a Nature's Claim. We're going to play this Urza's Tower, and we're looking to fade our opponent's Search for Tomorrow when he casts it. We're going to counter that. No mana for you. We're going to draw an extra card because we want to. Always yield. And Sylvan Scrying for the final Tron piece. So this is going to be our last game of the night. Or not last game. This will be our last last round of the night. This will be our 5th round. We'll see whether or not we can go to 4-1 or if we scrub out at 3-2. So I think we hit the Valakut because I don't really care about this guy because we have the O-Stone in hand. So I think we just go 1, 2, 3, play Karn Liberated, exile the Valakut. And now our opponent's forced to go here. Oh, so that's probably pretty good then. Alright, so I guess just not watching my own stream helps, I guess. Alright. Another Farseek. Yep. And here's our opponent swinging at our face. Ooh, that's good. We get to hit 3 of our opponent's lands. That's pretty darn saucy. We're going to go land, 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 land. Play a Sundering Titan. Always yield. We're going to hit 3 lands. Done. And yeah. I bet our opponent's wondering why I hit 3 lands. It's because it's a swamp. Alright, draws a card. Pumps up his Tireless Tracker. Attacks? No? Alright. Well, we're going to attack because we're winning this race. because now we get to drop that along with... Oh, and we took it down! Alrighty. So that's a 4-in-1 league with RG Tron. Thank you, or not RG Tron, Red Green Tron. It's a bit of a classic list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know I enjoyed playing it. So thank you for sticking around and watching us. You can catch all these replays on YouTube at the same handle, Makia0890. I'm trying to be streaming every other Monday and Wednesday, maybe every Monday and Wednesday, kind of depends on how my graduate school schedule goes. I play a variety of things. I play Modern, I play Commander. I'll do some drafts occasionally. I want to let you know that I am sponsored by The Cleared Table at theclearedtable.com. They are a wonderful group of people that are buying and trading and selling physical Magic cards. If you want to get your collection of Tron pieces, they have a large stock of them, as well as O-Stones, Karns, Ulamogs, Wormcoil engines, pretty much anything that you'd need. Theclearedtable.com is the place to go. Thank you for watching. If you like, please follow on Twitch and YouTube and give it a like. And you can catch me on Twitter at Makia0890 as well. I'll be tweeting out there when I'm going to be streaming and what I'm going to be streaming, usually about 15, 20, 30 minutes ahead of time. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that, and have a good night.